They are not advancing upon the workers at the buildings in a peaceful way. They actually look as though they're spreading out in an organized way, so that if they in a bit of a they're advancing like this. So the opposite of a V. So instead of a point person with people spreading out on either side, instead the person in the middle is furthest back. And they, if to give you an idea of the distance, if each one of them stretched out their hand toward the next person in line, it would be just enough to touch the outstretched hand of the other person. So you know exactly, this is a war formation. These guys are able to fight in this formation very effectively. And so they are walking toward the advancing slowly toward the people who are building. Simultaneously, there is a cry, a great shout from at the ship, and if you can't really see the details from where you are, but you can hear all the voices from the ship raise in a great shout, and there is a flare of red glow, and a scattering of small, perhaps bats or birds or something like that, just as if they had been created in that red glow, and they are scattering in all directions. From there, a pair of eyes. It's almost as though you can feel them. It's sort of visual, but it's almost more of a mystical presence. You can see the two eyes turn, look directly at the group of you, and that's when the spirit descends upon Zort. So, this seems like a long, long trip and a lot of time and trouble for one little measly rogue lost lamb, right? That might strike you as, why would they send a whole damn ship, for this? But still, that is what is happening. Zort, you're in spirit combat, and it's going to be a bad one.
All right. How much power did I regain?
You are at full power at 9.
Okay, that might be very useful.
Yeah, after the
more useful than 2,
and whatever opossum or whatever other rodent or small mammal that Scavo was able to shoot for breakfast or anything like that. Whatever mushrooms were discovered.
All right.
The woodswoman roll definitely got you, nature's breakfast without any trouble. So, okay. Well, so we have some spirit combat. Now, technically speaking, spirit combat is done one-on-one, but there are some exceptions. There are some ways to help somebody inside it, if you want. They're a little bit risky. So I will let you guys think about that when we take a look at what 19 against 9 on the resistance table is not a very good percent. Attack. They both roll to attack simultaneously. So roll a percentage for you and for me.
That's a 48.
Okay. So right. So you are not able to attack the spirit. This is overwhelming. This is a very powerful spirit. This is a very powerful cult action. And you quickly realize that all the things that have happened to you, the extra arm, the increase in size, the increase in the protection, and all of these things have all basically turned you into a target for this. and that
Right.
and that it is determines to in fact it's talking to you in a rather terrifyingly gentle instruction. Like when somebody explains something to you and it's really irritating. It's
Yep.
explaining to you that the best thing to do and your responsibility and for the good of everyone, and this, that clearly this shall be suppressed, this shall be chained, this shall be made to fit to the service that is best. You're getting a slightly different perspective on your cult, I think. And so the successful attack on spirit combat, and yet again I call attention to the difficulty of playing a role-playing game that is written by a practicing shaman, because they want to put in all of their little favorite details into the rules.
Is this something that Dispel could be used?
Which spell? Counter magic?
No, Dispel.
Oh, Dispel. Maybe.
Yes.
That's an interesting idea.
And I also have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If he would forsake his cult, would that negate the spirit?
Well, usually forsaking your cult is what brings it down upon you.
Okay.
And
that would be a double trouble.
Well, I don't know if it would be double, but the point is that as far as the spirit is concerned, the cult is concerned, he's already done that.
And
I kind of have a point, if you ask me.
Well, he protected me.
Right. Oh,
so what can I do?
Mm-hmm. Ah, there we are. Okay. There, finally.
And another question is, when we were trying to blow up the big golem, I placed a bomb inside of it. Mm-hmm. I know it's a temple right now, but you haven't specified that the bomb is gone. So is it still there?
That's something I don't want to think about right now while I am reading. So
okay.
I'll be right back.
Seriously, Kindu, do you think that's the way you should treat the spirit of reprisal? I'm absolutely not sure.
Yeah, I was more wondering, I see that we have two problems.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of guys walking next to each other in a war-like formation.
I did see that.
Yes, so...
Right. You see any possibility to get around them to where you want to go?
You are still a fair distance away, and there are only 6 of them. And so if you look at the map, you can see that if you want to go around the village, or not around the village, around those farms to the bridge that goes to the town, that you could probably do it and then just leave them to do whatever they're going to do on their own. They would have to specifically target your group. And for all you know, they will, but right now that does not seem to be their immediate where their attention is. So you could, I suppose, at least try to avoid them and see what happens from there.
I'll stay, but if you want to try, Ikendu, I think you should.
Yeah, I because I don't really know their objective, I would like to find out some more information. So maybe dictate blank, invisibility, and maybe even glamour on top of it.
You just
If
love
they
that
would detect me,
combination.
yeah.
All right. Just bear in mind that makes you a complete target for any magic that comes your way, but it's kind of a big risk. But that's up to you. So you're going to try and get to the bridge and get into the village, being invisible so that they don't detect you.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
And
okay.
And do I still have power? Because I used a lot during the combat, and then I used the detect
In your
trap.
trip back, it has come back. It did not. It you have not had your full power back for long, but you do have it back.
Okay.
It takes a few hours, and you have been traveling for a couple of days since then. And so, Nate, you have. I'm sorry to have. I was distracted by bombs. You dropped 1 point of power. So
All right.
right. So it is chewing away at you.
Is it the total power or the current power then?
It your current power would be 9.
Yes.
And so now it is 8.
Okay.
So that was it's quite unpleasant. You are in the grip of the fury of your god. And now, did you want to cast that spell for Urko?
I would like to do that.
Okay. So this is going to I'm going to treat it as well. By the rules, no matter what, you're going to make a power versus power attack. And I believe your power is 11. Is that correct?
Yes, if it hasn't gone up any in the last few days that we traveled, it should be 11.
11 is your actual score, correct?
No, it's
No.
13, my
Okay,
actual.
my mistake. It is 13. So over here. Okay. See if you can roll 20 or less.
$72.
Ooh, okay. So the as you attempt to match your power against the power of the spirit, it actually will almost turn and strike away the force of your magic coming in. And you recognize this is, it's the manifestation of a god's will. It's not exactly going to be easy.
Anything I can do?
There are a couple of possibilities. The most drastic would be to attempt a miracle, but that would be very drastic. In this case, you and Zord have been through a lot, and if you tried to actually get to him and tried to a mind link spell would be perfect, because then you would link to him and then you could possibly aid him. But in this case, if you backed it up with some kind of magic that has something to do with the woods woman, then I think that you would be quite likely.
I don't think I have any.
Well, I'm not sure I agree about that, because you did spend a night in a nest that was blessed by her magic. Yes.
Was that why it felt so safe?
Uh-huh. Remember, the insect people really like the woods woman. She's their god. So,
she's mine.
Uh-huh. And so that is why you actually have access to a rune spell. You didn't really realize it until you started really trying to say, what can I do? What can I do?